Good morning, everyone. Myself is Girish Rias, Assistant Professor, Department of Mechanical Engineering, Cambridge Institute of Technology, KR Puram, Bangalore.
Today we are going to start a new session, module 4. So metal forming process. Metal forming, it is a primary manufacturing process. Before we discuss about metal forming process, so we will discuss about some of the important definition of raw material into useful product. The product of desired material, desired shape, size, color, and also it has to perform functionally in the given application. Okay, that is called manufacturing. Okay, so manufacturing involves processing. Process is nothing but step by step operation involved in the conversion of raw material into finished product. Product you see in real time application. It is not made up of single procedure itself or single process itself. Okay, as we see, as you see, the material produced with the help of machining, it undergo lot of process. Primarily, it undergo casting process. Later, it undergo forming process. Later, it comes to machining process. In a single process, you are not able to get the product what you see in real application. It has to go through many process. Okay, so that we achieve a final component or final product. Okay.
So next one is deformation. Deformation is nothing but it is a process of changing the shape and size of the component under the influence of external force or stress. So when you apply the force, the metal will flow in solid state. The flow of material in solid state is called deformation. The deformation can be elastic or plastic in nature. In some case, deformation is permanent. When you are stressing above the yield point, you will get a permanent deformation. That is, when the applied stress is below the elastic point or within the elastic limit, the deformation is temporary. When the load is removed, say the component will come back to original deformation or original shape.
Elastic deformation is nothing but the deformation is temporary. When you load up to the elastic limit, then the material undergo a temporary deformation. Only when the load is released, it comes back to original shape and dimension. Okay, this is termed as a temporary deformation or elastic deformation. All the structural material is when subjected to loading within the elastic limit. Okay, within the elastic limit only. Next one is plastic deformation. Plastic deformation is also called as permanent deformation where the material is subjected to loading above the elastic limit. Okay, above the yield strength of the material, the force is applied. So next term used in metal forming is stress. Stress is nothing but the resistance offered by the material against external load is called stress. Okay, when you are applying a load onto the material will offer resistance for the load. Okay, the resistance created in the material for the external load is termed as stress. Okay, okay. So basically, metal is used for mechanical working or metal forming process. It uses metals. All metals which are ductile are mechanically worked. So in order to undergo metal forming process, the material should have ductile property. Okay, brittle material cannot be uh, processed through metal forming process as it sudden failure. Without deformation, it will failure. Okay, that's why a ductile metal is one which undergo increase or decreasing in length with when external force is applied without breaking. Okay, we have sheet or wire which are obtained due to ductility property. You readily get a wire and sheet of required thickness and diameter in the market. All this product is the outcome of metal forming process only. Okay, in order to produce that sheet of material or the wire of material, those materials should have ductile property in it. The brittle material cannot undergo a plastic deformation, appreciable amount of plastic deformation. That's why in order to make metal forming process possible or plastic deformation possible, you bring back in ductile nature or ductile property into material. With the help of heat treatment, annealing, we can bring the ductility into the material, then you can go for plastic deformation or metal forming process to produce a different shape. Okay, the ingot. So ingot is nothing but a solid raw material used as a raw material for metal forming process. As we said, metal forming process, the raw material is in solid form. Okay, this solid raw material is produced by casting. Okay, you have we made a uniform cross section, a rectangular cross section, or a square cross section, or circular cross section, trapezoidal cross section. So I have plenty of pure metals and alloy. If you ask in market, I want aluminum 6061 alloy ingot. Okay, so ingots you will get it in either trapezoidal form or circular. Okay, this ingot is a raw material for metal forming process. Okay, next we'll define what is metal forming process. So metal forming process, it is a type of product development process. It is a primary manufacturing process in which we are changing shape of the material without changing mass or volume of the component. No loss of material. Okay, so you can shape the material either in two ways. One is in solid state. You can shape the component in two ways. One is through machining operation, another one is through metal forming operation. In machining, what we will do, we remove the unwanted material. Okay, we remove the material from the metal block so that you can shape into the required dimension. Okay, so there the loss of material or mass will be take place in machining. Whereas in metal forming, so we will not going to remove any material. We are applying a force, okay, in particular direction so that plastic deformation take place in that particular direction. Okay, without reducing the mass or volume of the component, you achieve the required shape. Okay, so this is called metal forming process. So material is subjected to load more than yield stress of the material. Plastic deformation has to take place if you want to produce a product through metal forming process. If you want a component to undergo plastic deformation, you should apply a load which is more than yield strength of the material. Okay, when the material is stressed above yield strength, so then only material undergo plastic deformation. Okay, so this process is called metal forming. Metal forming or bulk deformation process or plastic deformation process. Here we are subjecting the material to load above the yield strength of the material, or we stress the material above the yield strength of the material. Example for metal forming is forging, rolling, extrusion, even drying also, high energy rate forming. So these are the example for metal forming process or metal working process.
So next we will discuss about classification of metalworking process. So here metalworking process can be classified two way, based on forces and based on working temperature. Based on the applied forces, metalworking is classified into direct compressive forces, indirect compressive forces, bending forces, then tensile forces and shear force. First, based on direct compressive force,
Has to be deformed or metal should to be formed is subjected to direct compressive force. Okay, so here forging and rolling are the two process involves direct compressive force during metal forming. So forging and rolling are the two metal forming process where direct compressive forces are applied for deformation or metal deformation. So here you see forging operation. In forging operation, what you use, the workpiece is kept between the two die. The workpiece is kept between two die, bottom die and top die. So bottom die one is fixed and top die will move. Okay. So top die is attached to the machine where the die will hammering of the top die on the workpiece material will take place. Okay. Repeated hammering of the top die. Force is applied through top die only. Okay, so bottom die will be fixed and workpiece will be kept in between the two dies. Okay, so here is metal is placed between the gap of two hard surface called die and are made to come close and make contact with metal, and applying a load the metal is compressed and it is experienced direct compression. What will do? So even in hand forging, what we kept the workpiece in a tang, okay, and we apply the force through hammer. That is hand forging. So there also, so anvil is considered as a bottom die, and hammer is considered as a top die. So with the help of manual power, we repeatedly apply a compressive force, direct compressive force on the workpiece material. Here, for deforming a small material, you can do it in hand forging. When you are deforming a large material, so you have to do with machine only, because it requires lot of force for metal forming to take place. The material will flow in lateral direction, in direction normal to the applied load. So you see the compressive force is indicated by F from the bottom die, and from the top die the force is acting towards the material. That is direct compressive force. Due to that, the resulting the result of this force will be deformation in lateral direction. Lateral direction is nothing but deformation take place perpendicular to the application of load. The deformation is take place. Okay. So rolling operation. So here the machine involved two rollers. Okay, two rollers with small amount of gap. The gap is depending upon the required thickness of the material. The gap will be maintained. Okay. So whatever the sheet metal you use, that is the product of rolling only. The metal gets reduced into required cross section. Okay, depending upon the gap between the two rolls, the metal is reduced into that thickness. Okay, the thickness of the sheet coming out of the roller is equal to gap between the two roller. When the material entry in the entry side, so the thickness of the material is more. When it come close to the roller, so when it come close to the roller, so here you see at the entry point of the roller is compressed the material. You see it is indicated by F, that our inclined force is applied on the material. So it try to push the material or flow the material in solid state. Okay, so that it will pass through the gap. Okay, so at the entry stage it is subjected to direct compression. Okay, so because of direct compression, thickness will be reduced. Okay, so because of reduction in cross section, the length of the component will increase. Okay, as I told you, there is loss of volume here. As the thickness reduces, length of the sheet or slab will be increases. Indirect compressive force. So indirect compression process, it is classified into extrusion and wire drawing. Okay, in the extrusion and wire drawing involves indirect compressive force. What is meant by indirect compressive force? Here you see in extrusion, the extrusion it consisting of a cylindrical container. Okay, inside the cylindrical container we keep the hot ingot billet. Okay, billet is called as a hot ingot. We keep the hot ingot into the cylinder. Then we push that hot ingot through the piston. Okay, the piston end where the push is indicated by arrow push, it is connected to the hydraulic chamber or hydraulic unit. So with the help of hydraulic unit, we apply the force onto the piston. So the piston transfer force into the material. Okay, metal ingot. So thereby, so the forces is transferred to the metal inside. What you see inside, it is indicated in black color. Okay, the forces transfer into the die. You see at the exit of the material, a conical die will be placed. So here what happens? The material of uniform cross section will be obtained. In extrusion, the material of uniform cross section will be obtained. So when you apply a force through hydraulic chamber, through piston, the force is transferred into the material. So again, the die experience a reaction force. You see in the die where hatching is shown in the die, the force is indicated. The force is in opposite direction to the applied force. Okay, so when the metal is forced against the die react to the applied force and reactive force in opposite direction will be created. This reactive force push the material into the small opening provided at the exit. Okay, even though you are applying force directly in the entry, okay, so due to the reaction of the die, the indirect compressive force act at the exit of the material, near to the exit of the material where conical die is provided. That conical die will create the indirect compressive force, thereby the material is reduced into required uniform cross section and it will exit out of the die. Okay, here the extrusion involves indirect compressive force. Next one is wire drawing. Here in wire drawing also, wire drawing is similar to extrusion process. In extrusion process, we are pushing the material through small opening, whereas in wire drawing process, we are pulling from the small opening itself. So the ingots will be machined. Initially, it will machine into whatever the small opening is there. In order to the material has to pass through that small opening. Initially, we machine the component so that a part of the material come out of the small opening at the die exit. So with that part, we pull the material out of the die opening. So here also we are pulling out of the exit, but the indirect force will be applied through the die. Okay, when you are pulling, the die experience the indirect force into the material, thereby the reduction of material takes place. Okay, wire drawing and extrusion are the example for indirect compression process. Next one, so bending process. The next classification is bending process based on bending force act on the material. The material will be deformed. Okay, you see, bending forces involve two die. Okay, two die. One is bottom die and another one is top die. It is also referred as punch. Okay, here sheet material will be bend into the required angle. Okay, punch the sheet into the bottom die, so the bending will take place. Okay, even though you are applying a compressive force from the punch, due to the bending only, deformation will be take place. The top surface of the sheet is compressed and bottom surface is try to tensile force resulting in bending of the sheet will be take place. Even though you are applying force is in compressive nature, because of the punch and die shape, the work is experience a bending force. Okay, required contour. The bottom contour having V shape, the material is bent into V shape. If you take a bottom contour into rectangular shape, upper punch also having rectangular shape, so then the material is bent into rectangular shape. Suppose if you want to produce a material in the form of cup or in the form of bucket, okay, then the bottom contour will be having a circular shape of reducing cross section. So shear process you see, so in shearing you use a stationary blade and moving blade. In between stationary blade and moving blade, a sheet metal will be kept. So sheet metal will be kept above the stationary blade, and there is a small gap maintained between stationary blade and the moving blade. When it is moved, also there will be a small gap will be there. So when the moving blade come down, the sheet will undergo shearing. So cutting. Okay, cutting of the sheet. We will do cutting of the sheet by using shearing process. So example, punching, piercing and blanking of the sheet. We will go to tensile process. This bending, shearing, tensile forces is only useful in sheet forming process. Okay, when you are operating on huge metal block, direct compressive force or indirect compressive force only used. Okay, for sheet metal we use bending, shearing or tensile process. Okay, deformation through tensile process involves sheet metal will be pulled in the gripper from the bottom. Okay, we apply a force against the sheet metal. You see that die will be having a convex contour. So when the die will move against the structured sheet metal, so the sheet will be bent into the whatever the convex contour is provided on the die, into that shape the sheet will be bent. Okay, here, so because it is structured initially or gripped between the structure, so when you apply a force through die, then the material will be subjected to tensile stress, and the deformation is taking place on the sheet metal into the shape of the contour provided on the die. Okay, the example of tensile process involves stretch forming process.
So this is about the classification of metal forming based on the forces. So based on the forces we classified into directive compressive force, indirect compressive force, tensile force, bending force and shear force. In direct compressive force, forging and rolling are the example. In indirect compressive force, uh, extrusion and drawing are the example for indirect compressive force. Tensile process, bending process and shearing process is used to operate the sheet metal. Okay, I hope you understand the classification of metal forming based on forces. Thank you for watching. Have a good day. Thank you.